was rifle bullets shooting over the top of us, and we had to crawl this course. It was the length of a football field. And it had rained all day, and we had to crawl it twice during the daylight hour, then we had to crawl it at night. And we were just mud from head to foot, and all our clothes had to be destroyed. It was completely ruined. But yeah, that was probably the most ugliest thing we did there. Well, we kind of put our names, a couple of us put our names, moved them up on the list. Yeah, actually we was drafted, but probably moved our name up 6 months or so. Supposed to be March the 5th, report to, well, at that time, I guess the bus was going to pick us up in Stuart. There was 3 or 4 other gentlemen that was with me or was going to be going in. And we had a terrible storm starting. That would have been on a Monday, and it started on Saturday and Sunday and Monday, and then they called and said, well, the bus from Chattern is snowed in and not going to be able to come in, so you have to meet the bus in O'Neill, the one that comes out of Mitchell, South Dakota. And so my dad took me down, and it was a treacherous trip down to O'Neill that morning. That was very treacherous, but we went to Port Leonard Wood, Missouri. And we went into a reception center there for 3-4 days. We got our Army issue and this and that, and then about 3 days they shipped us to our permanent station. That was in Leonard Wood. And they put us in the old Army barracks back from World War II barracks, just regular little cattle sheds is what they were, 2 stories. Yeah, we had long marches out to the rifle ranges, the bivouac areas, and I was a truck driver, so I did a lot of time deliver meals out to the different camps. And yeah, it was an experience I'll never forget. They just drove you from day to day. Pull-ups, push-ups before you went in to have lunch. You daresn't touch anything when you stand in line. You got inside, you daresn't talk. You got caught talking, you got extra duty, and just things like that. I guess that, I don't know how much made a man out of you, but I guess it did. And then the 1st of June, we went to Fort Gordon, Georgia for MP training, military police. June, July, and August, the hottest months, I guess, in Georgia, but that was good. I mean, we'd done a lot of training and judo training, classroom work, driving, just everything kind of in a bundle. But other than being so terrible hot, yeah, it wasn't all that bad. It was very educational. A lot of the classroom training we did on law and this and that. So then we were shipped to Sandia Base, Albuquerque, New Mexico. I think 20 of us out of that unit. Some went to Paris, some went to, I forget where the other, there was about 3 places they sent us. But 20 some of us went to Albuquerque, Sandia Base. It was a security base. Atomic energy plant was there, Sandia Corporation. Everything was pretty top secret there. So our job there was more or less police patrol duty, stockade duty, and traffic control. There was no stoplights or anything on the base. It was around 30,000 cars, civilian cars a day would come in to work, and we would run them points at 7 till 9 in the morning, and then during the noon hour, and then again about 4 to 5:30 in the evening. But we stood in a little box. One kid got killed there at one of the main intersections. There was like 4 lanes of traffic running by you, 3 on one side and 1 on the other, and somebody hit his box. And so that was a very sad day for all of us. And I guess the highlight of it, I don't know, the Cuban crisis, when Russia was taking rockets to Cuba, when President Kennedy said, either you turn around or we're going to war. I know we got off traffic point that morning. We had an alert, everybody evacuated the base except the MPs. And of course there was a lot of officers there, generals, colonels, majors. And they all went out in these mountains where they had secured outposts where they could evidently run the controls out there. And then I believe it was like late in the afternoon when they turned the ships around, and So we were the only ones there that day. It was kind of scary, I guess. We didn't know what was going to happen, because it was a place where it could be very well attacked if something happened. And then following that, in December the 7th and 8th, President Kennedy came to our base, and I happened to be one of the lucky persons, I guess, to be on the honor guard escort and when he came off the plane, and then to the hotel, and the next day he toured our base and all these facilities where they manufacture these different items. And then the next day we escorted him to Kirtland Air Force Base, so quite an experience. We come off the plane, he was right there, saluted him. He's just a great man. No, we didn't get to shake his hand. He just, he saluted back, and that's the way it was. But the bubble top car was unloaded the day before, and that was secured, the whole time he was there. And he stood up in that the whole time, and it was cold that day. My mother was, in September of '63, was found terminal with cancer. So a couple of town people, or 3 or 4 of them, decided maybe I needed to be at home to help out, and so they put in for a early out. So I got out there around the end of October, about 4 months early. Yeah, there was a lot of fun times we had. I mean, you get to know these guys that are in your barracks, and you're just like a family. I mean, everybody. Nobody's an enemy, everybody's a friend. And we did things together. I mean, we didn't have much money. I think we was getting around $85 a month. Time you take your laundry and different things out. But yeah, we had a lot of fun. And I did go back and see some of the kids that was in my barracks. And it could have been a lot worse. We wasn't in wartime conditions or anything like that, but just a lot of experience, and I think every young person should experience it. Makes a man out of you pretty quick. And of course, they was after you all the time to re-enlist and all this, and I probably would have went into the highway patrol if it wouldn't have been for my mother, but my dad lived on a farm, and she passed away then that following year. But I know quite a few of them in our unit did. They went on to the highway patrol, and I mean, we had a lot of training that kind of rolled right into that. And the food, I guess, while we was there, yeah, it wasn't the greatest, but it wasn't bad. I mean, we had good meals. Oh, every 6 months, and qualified with a 45 pistol and carbine, and so I did have expert medals from 45 pistol and the M14 or the M1. Well, I belonged to the American Legion. More veterans need to get their stories out to these young people, because I don't think they realize just how lucky they are, not for what I did, but what my predecessors did. World Wars, Korea, Vietnam. It was terrible what some of them soldiers went through. And they should realize that their freedom is because of these people.